Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside the Maravich Assembly Center, where tonight on the SEC ESPN Network, we bring you college gymnastics between second-ranked LSU and New Hampshire. Welcome inside, everyone, with former Georgia All-America, national champion, and Canadian Olympic team member Lori Strong-Ballard. I'm Len Rollins. Lori, in this building a week ago, LSU defeated Florida with its highest score of the season. It truly was a national championship caliber performance.
They scored a 198.15, the third highest score in school history in front of the third largest crowd here. It was an amazing night, and with that they secured the first ever regular season SEC title. They are undefeated in the SEC.
So the Tigers have taken care of business against league opponents. They wait for postseason play now. What's the significance of this meet against New Hampshire?
Well, this is their last opportunity to really fine-tune their performances before the SEC tournament next weekend. It's also senior night here at the PMAC, a chance to celebrate the careers of several very talented seniors who've been an integral part of this LSU explosion over the last 4 years.
We will see LSU on vault first, and this week, LSU ranks number 1 in the country on vault.
And last Sunday, they scored a 49.625, the highest score in the nation over the last 2 years. It was punctuated by another perfect 10 from their anchor, Ashley Natt.
Juliana Canamella will get started for LSU as you look at the LSU vault lineup, anchored by Nat, who has 2 10s this year. This is a very strong unit, and there are some outstanding performers on vault who aren't in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, we'll see a few changes tonight. Juliana will be back in the lineup after being in and out throughout the season. She suffered a shoulder injury that limited her in the middle of the season. She warmed up very nicely, though, on her Yurchenko layout full.
Canamella's best vault is a 9.85 this year.
Nice direction off the horse. That gives her that stuck landing. When you pop it up like that, you drop into the landing. What an amazing start for LSU. This is a Yurchenko full, scored from a 9.95. Nice direction. The feet and hips rise up into the air first. Then she initiates the twist, looks for the landing, and gets the stick.
Now we go to the bars for New Hampshire, ranked 26th in the country. It's got a 17-4 record, and this is Danielle Doolin.
And they are fresh off a season high 49-1 last week. It's nice to see things starting to come together late in the season here. There's her Jaeger, a little bit of a knee bend in the air. There will be some deduction there. Overshoot to the low bar, looking to hit handstand to get that D. Giant full, into the dismount, double tuck for some connection bonus there. She's happy with that performance. A solid start for the Wildcats. There's the overshoot down to the low bar. The judges are looking for those tight vertical positions. We saw a little bit of a leg separation. Tiny form deduction in the giant full and a small hop, but a solid, great start.
Up next for LSU on vault, Maya Hambrick, whose best has been near perfect this year. She has scored a 9.95.
She debuted a new 10-0 start value vault a few weeks ago, the Yurchenko 1.5. We'll see what she does tonight. Sticks with the full. She's known for her impeccable form on that vault. And, you know, when you're talking about a half a tenth difference in start value, the full is a 9.95, the 1.5 is a 10.0. Maybe it's a smart decision to go with the lower start value and just do it clean and concise, just like this vault. Just a tiny shuffle or a lift of the heels on the landing.
Canamella, by the way, scored 9.875. That's her highest scoring vault of the season. We talked about the significance of the meet for LSU, but New Hampshire has something to play for tonight as well.
Well, they're looking to qualify to the regional championships. They're ranked 26th in the nation right now, so they're in a good position. Top 36 teams will go to regionals.
Ava Watkins on the bars.
This is a freshman. Tkachev was her major release move there. To be up to the caliber that they need to be, they must do a D-release move like that leaves the bar and catches the same bar. Dismount, double layout, a little stiff-legged on the landing with her hips back. Small deduction there, but another hit for New Hampshire. Hop change to a straddle back to handstand, no problem hitting that vertical position. Gaining momentum with the Giants, double layout, little leg separation, and a hop on the landing.
Her predecessor on bars, Doolin, scored 9.7. Maya Hambrick has been credited with a 9.9 on her vault for LSU. And now here's Sydney Ewing, whose best this year is 9.925.
One of the amazing seniors being celebrated here. This is her final vault at the PMAC. Last time out, she went a 9.925. And I think she'll take that one. Outstanding.
When you see Coach Bob Moore thrust those two fists into the air, you know it's been a good one.
One of his big coaching techniques is don't overthink this. Let your muscle memory do the work. When you try to stick it, you're not going to get it. Do the technique, let it happen.
Canamella, Hambrick, and undoubtedly Ewing, all with big scores on vault. Next up for New Hampshire, it's Megan Flieger.
A senior co-captain on this team. Teammate Jennifer King also shares that captain position with her. She was the top all-around scorer in their last meet. This absolutely is the biggest meet for New Hampshire on their schedule this year in terms of going up against a top opponent in front of a huge crowd with this kind of energy. So this is a really nice opportunity for these athletes to experience this. Mounting, hitting her first handstand. Giant full. Nice control on top into her overshoot. Directly back up to the high bar with her toe shoot. There's that handstand, nice job. Giant full. Double tuck, sticks the landing. Wow, what a controlled, really clean routine. I enjoyed that.
You were talking about the atmosphere here tonight. 12,000 plus were here to see LSU in Florida. The crowd may not be quite that big, but there aren't many empty seats.
Looking for the landing, a smile on her face. She knew she had that before the feet hit the mat.
Here's McKenna Kelly, who is going to vault for the very first time this year.
She's been working hard on perfecting a brand new vault, a different style vault than she competed throughout her career. As a JO athlete, Coach Bob Moore is very proud of this. Handspring front pike, it is huge! That is a 10-0 start value, same as the Yurchenko 1.5. And it's a little bit different, so it's kind of refreshing to see a little bit of a different style. We've seen her power on the floor. Now it's evident here on the vault. Unfortunately, she's not able to get this step landing, but remember, this is the first time she's competing this in competition, so you got to deal with a little bit of that adrenaline and fine-tuning.
Sydney Ewing was 9.9 before McKenna Kelly. Kennedy Edney and Ashley Knapp will follow. But now we go back to bars. Jessica Gracia. Megan Flieger, by the way, a 9.85, a very nice routine.
So far, they are doing very well. 3 hits. Ginger and a little too far to catch that release move. 5/10 deduction when you come off the apparatus.
This knowledgeable crowd sending out encouragement even to the visitors.
Nice to see that. Cast a handstand, overshoot to the low bar. She set a new personal best the last time out with a 9.85, so I know this is a little bit disappointing. Giant swings into the double layout, sets the direction nice and high, pretty solid on the dismount.
And a nice recovery for Gracia after she fell.
She missed her major release move. It's called a ginger. It's a flyaway with a half turn, just too far, but she recovered nicely all the way through to the dismount with a double layout.
First vault scorer of the season for the Tigers, McKenna Kelly. 9.825.
McKenna Kelly's first vault of 2017 was a 9.825. And this brings on Kennedy Edney. She's had a 9.95 as her personal best this year.
She is a powerful, big vaulter. She has a 10.0 start value, doing the Yurchenko layout 1.5. Does have a blind landing, so it's more about the technique and the timing than actually seeing the landing. Chest a little bit forward on the landing, has to take that step, really trying to cover up any landing deductions, but probably about a 1/10 taken there.
This is a star in the making for LSU, this freshman.
Trying to control this into the air, nice height, good distance, really clean form, just that step on the landing.
We go to Jennifer King on bars.
The other co-captain on this team. She's got a couple interesting moves, including her dismount.
There's part of the huge crowd on hand. This will be the final meet of the year for LSU in the Maravich Assembly Center, a place they have not lost in 3 years.
That is absolutely amazing to be a part of a senior group that has never lost in this arena. Hop chain, straddle back to the low bar. Toe circle, hip cast to handstand, slightly short there. Jaeger, and she catches it. Giant half. Turns to mixed grip. Front layout, 1.5 dismount. Kind of original, a little bit different.
By the way, over that 3-year period, LSU is 27-0 in this building. This will be the 28th consecutive win if it comes over New Hampshire.
They are fierce in this building. It is tough competition to walk in here.
Ashley Natt will close out the vault. She's had a 10 twice this year. She's the only gymnast in the country with 2 perfect scores in 2017.
And the last perfect 10 came just a few days ago when they competed on Sunday against Florida.
Kennedy Edney had a 9.85 on her preceding vault.
She says she needs to get herself a little bit mad to create this adrenaline and energy into this vault. The crowd just jumps on their feet. I mean, you can just see the difference in this vault, the height that she gets. Take a look at the vaulting table. When she blocks it, it actually rocks and moves. And if you're in this arena, you can hear her hit this vaulting table. She just explodes from the shoulders, takes it straight up. 1.5 rotations basically with 2 twists.
So we'll wait for Ashley Natt's score as Danielle Mulligan closes out the bars for New Hampshire.
She is absolutely a beautiful bar worker. She's 5'4" tall, but she looks taller than that because of her long arms and legs. Nice eagle giants into a pike Jaeger. That's an E-skill right into her shoot over the low bar. She has that perfect bar type body with the long arms and long legs. Nails the landing just like she did in warm-up. She was so focused, going through her routine in her head, doing visuals, and she performed it just like she warmed it up. Look at the extension she gets. Pushing out through the shoulders, making that long body look even longer. The dismount. She taps it up into the air, creates that height well above the bar, and looks for the landing for the stick.
Ashley Natt scored a 9.9 on the final vault for LSU. This New Hampshire team has been on a hot streak. It's 17-4 overall, a very nice record, and it's won 5 meets in a row.
And, I mean, they came into bars after their highest score of the year with a 49.1, and I think they have an opportunity to better that here. We'll have to see.
This is Riley Freeling. This will be an exhibition performance. It will not count in the team score.
So New Hampshire hit 5 of 6 routines, and they were solid, good performances. Now
That fall by Gracia, though, cost New Hampshire dearly with her 9.125.
But 5 of 6 scores count, so they can drop that score. So still a solid effort. Now Freeling getting some competition opportunity here and some experience.
Danielle Mulligan was 9.775. I thought she might have scored higher than that.
That's an interesting score as well. I thought it would be higher than that. Pike Jaeger overshoot. Toe circle. Pushing hard to get that handstand. Missed that vertical position. Giant. Looks like she was attempting a double layout. Pulled in a little bit close. You saw the coach. He was ready there to catch her in case she hit the bar.
So the first rotation has concluded. We will be back with individual and team scores in a moment. LSU and New Hampshire tonight from the Maravich Assembly Center on the SEC ESPN Network. Baton Rouge, and here are your scores. New Hampshire on bars and LSU on vault. Again, the Tigers, with that number one vaulting team in America, probably did nothing to diminish that ranking.
49.425 was their total score. A solid effort. Some really good landings, and of course we got to see that debut of McKenna Kelly's brand new pike half vault. That was exciting.
New Hampshire had some solid performances with the exception of one, but LSU has taken a lead as we look at team totals now after one event here in the Maravich Assembly Center with a near-capacity crowd looking on again.
And that 9125 can be dropped. And Flieger, what an amazing job she did with that 9.85. A solid effort for New Hampshire in their first event.
We'll be back with more from the Maravich Assembly Center. You see the updated totals: 49.425, New Hampshire 48.7. More in a moment from the Maravich Assembly Center. In the evening at 6 o'clock, session 2. This is quite frankly, one of the highest quality meets you'll ever see during the year, and that counts regional and Super 6 competition.
Absolutely. Year in and year out, there are several SEC teams that qualify to the Super 6 final, so this is a little bit of a warm-up for the national championships and an excellent opportunity for these teams to really test themselves out on that given night to see who is the SEC tournament champion.
And there will be full coverage on the SEC Network's ESPNU in the first session, and then the SEC Network in the second session of the SEC Championship Tournament.
And LSU will be performing in that evening session. The top 4 teams will compete in that second session.
Let's look at the lineups now as we get to the second rotation. LSU leading 49.425 to 48.7. New Hampshire on vault: Danielle Doolin, Ava Watkins, Nicole O'Leary, Marissa Tosi, Megan Flieger, and Elizabeth Mahoney.
And New Hampshire usually scores in that high 48 range here on vault, but they are capable of 49 plus scores, and that's something that they would like to get to, especially late in this season.
This is Danielle Doolin.
They have a fairly young lineup with 3 sophomores in it. That bodes well for the future of this vaulting lineup. Eagle Conference Rookie of the Year, one of their top all-arounders. Yurchenko, layout full. See a little bit of a difference here between LSU's vault and that vault. It was a little bit flatter. The judges are really looking for that block up off the vaulting table. You can see her elbows bend slightly here. That absorbs some of that power.
Here's the lineup for LSU on bars: Shay Zamardi, Maya Hambrick, Ruby Harold, Kennedy Edney, Sarah Finnegan, and Ashley Nat. Zamardi's best bar routine this year has been 9.875.
LSU's ranked 3rd in the nation on bars. Zamardi has led them off in every meet this season. She is an elegant bar worker. Beautiful toe point, nice extension. Double Arabian steps out on the landing. Solid start for the Tigers, though. They've made one adjustment in their lineup today. They will rest Lexi Priestman. She has a sore knee. They put in Ashley Nat as the anchor tonight. Not usually her best event, but it's senior night, and she's stepping up for the team. Great job for Shay.
And it's our understanding that Priestman will not compete at all tonight.
Absolutely, yes. She competed bars last meet against Florida, but will totally rest that knee. They hope to get her back for the SEC Championships.
Freshman Ava Watkins.
Another Yurchenko layout full, 9.95 start value, pops out a little bit on the landing.
Doolin's vault preceding this one was 9.675.
Fairly good job of keeping those arms tight as she blocks off the horse, pikes down a little bit at the end of this full twist.
Shea Zamardi was 9.8 with the opening bar routine, and this brings on Maya Hambrick. Her best score this year, 9.925.
Taking a deep breath before starting, trying to calm the nerves a little bit. Last week she went over on this first handstand, just had a little bit too much adrenaline. Hitting the vertical position tonight, no problem. Beautiful release move, sky high. Giant fold down to the low bar with her overshoot, hits the handstand, pops it up with a toe shoot to the high bar. Setting her direction into her full twisting double back and nails the landing. That's the routine she's looking for.
She and her teammates like it.
They have been training very heavily on hitting those vertical handstands because you think about it, there's several handstands in a routine, and if each gymnast misses it, that's a couple tenths per athlete.
And next up for New Hampshire, Nicole O'Leary.
Two solid vaults on their feet so far. Handspring front pike. Wow, that was outstanding.
Nicole O'Leary, the third vaulter, following Watkins, 9.675.
This is similar to the vault we just saw McKenna Kelly do in the last rotation, but she doesn't add the half turn. What she does do is rocket this so high in the air. It's a 9.9 start value. Unfortunately, that big step will be a deduction, but when she can nail that, that will score nicely.
Here's Ruby Harold. You and Ruby share something in common, and that's an appearance in the Olympics.
We both actually competed in 2 Olympics. Ruby has some of the most unique skills in the nation, and don't blink because they come right at the beginning of the routine here. Half turn to the high bar, shoots back down to the low bar. Hits the handstand, toe on half, into her release move, a Jaeger. Hop change, right into the dismount. No waiting there, and she finds the landing on a double front blind landing. Those are the little details they're trying to work out here, trying to find those stuck landings, especially on these blind landings. Double front. Oh, there was just a tiny movement of that foot, but nice job throughout the entire routine.
Here's Marissa Tosi, the next vaulter for New Hampshire.
9.75 last time out. Half front layout, nice extension in the air, steps on the landing. This is scored out of a 9.95, the same as the Yurchenko layout full. She does a half turn, and it's a blind landing as well.
So far, all 4 landings have been less than solid for New Hampshire. They have taken a little hop there. And that has cost them a couple of points.
And that is the difference between, say, a number 2 team in the nation and the 26th ranked team. It's those little details that you can keep gaining little tenths here and there.
Ruby Harold up next for LSU, 9.875. Has been her best bars routine this year.
Next up for the Fighting Tigers.
All right, I beg your pardon, Kennedy Edney, 9.925 has been Kennedy Edney's best. Finnegan and Nat will follow.
And what a year Kennedy has had. As a freshman, she has contributed in on every event with great success.
Ruby Harold scored 9.85 on her routine.
It's called a Hindorf. It's a release move from the free hip or the clear hip position. Clear hip to handstand, down to the low bar with her bail to handstand, rocks that vertical position. She has been competing all year like a veteran, even though she's just a freshman. It'll be amazing to see what she can do over the next several years. Sticks the landing on her double layout.
It was like she landed in quicksand.
She had such a successful career as a JO athlete, gained so much valuable competition experience at the highest level that has really helped her deal with the changes that come with being on a collegiate team.
That may well reach or exceed her season's best. This is Megan Flieger.
Yurchenko layout full. Fairly well done. Nice job.
She stuck the landing, too.
Nice job of being patient and blocking it up before the twist. Just that step on the landing.
Tosi preceding her was 9.8. That's the best vault score of the night for New Hampshire.
Vault score for the Tigers, Kennedy Edney, 9.95.
Kennedy Edney, indeed, with a season's high and a career high, a 9.95. And this brings on Sarah Finnegan.
Sarah went 9.925 on Sunday against Florida to share the bar title with teammate Lexi Priestman.
And that's her best score of the year.
Not a mistake so far. Down to the low bar, bail, toe shoot, back up to the high bar, pushing through, getting the vertical handstand. Looking for the stick here. Double layout. Oh, moves that foot, steps back for 1/10 or a half a tenth deduction. Excellent routine throughout the routine, not many deductions there. Toe hand down to the low bar. By connecting those skills, she's gaining bonus points that will help her get that 10-0 start value. An E dismount double layout gives her 2/10.
Megan Flieger with a 9.75 on the last vault. And this is Elizabeth Mahoney out of Hanson, Massachusetts.
All Eagle first team on vault. Her career high is a 9.9. Looking to pop it up. Yurchenko layout full. Definitely the best vault on their team so far in terms of the size of it, the explosion off the vaulting table, but she does take a big step out on the landing. She pikes down a little bit, which increases your rotation. She really does not need to do that. Just by hollowing the body, she may have gotten a better landing.
Sarah Finnegan's bars score was 9.775. And now Ashley Natt concludes the bar routine. Is there a gymnast in America with a more attractive smile than that?
She is absolutely vivacious out there on the competitive floor. She really enjoys the sport, absolutely loves it, and it comes across in her face and her performances. Giant full into her ginger, does a good job this time of keeping those legs glued together. Overshoot, back up to the high bar, nicely turning over that toe shoot, hits the handstand. Sometimes some deductions here in the dismount where she gets stuck in a rotation, pulls it around, sticks the landing. One of her best bar routines I've ever seen her do.
Her top score this year was 9.775, and you can bet this one will exceed that.
And we've talked about her not necessarily being a mainstay in this bar lineup, but it's important for LSU to keep building their depth because you never know what's going to happen. Lexi Priestman is out with a minor knee injury this week. She steps in, gets this opportunity, and does a great job with it.
And we go back to Mahoney's vault, 9.775.
LSU has finished up on bars. They had a solid set. Oh, someone's excited about their score.
A 9.9 for Ashley Natt. That is her highest bar score of the season. So we are through 2 rotations in Baton Rouge at the Maravich Assembly Center. We will have scores for you when we return on the SEC ESPN Network. A regular season gymnastics meet for the Tigers. Here are the scores on the latest event. New Hampshire vault scores, LSU bar scores. The Tigers appear to have extended their lead. Very solid performance for the bar routine.
What stands out to me is a couple of athletes who don't necessarily score that high every time out. Kennedy Edney and Ashley Natt putting up some huge scores and a great performance there.
This is part of the huge crowd. More than 12,000 in attendance to watch Florida and LSU last weekend. And the big crowds this year, Lori, have been commonplace. In fact, LSU gymnastics is 4th in the country in average attendance of any women's sporting event.
Yeah, Utah gymnastics and Alabama gymnastics are 1 and 2. UConn basketball is in the 3rd place, and LSU now has the 4th highest average attendance of all women's sports. You know, just 6 years ago, they were having less than 3,000 fans attending. Now they are up to averaging over 10,000.
We'll be back with more, including updated scores. There you see it. LSU off to a very good start. Events, LSU 98.8, New Hampshire 97.425. Everybody now is pointing toward postseason. Let's take a look at the latest rankings. This is the road to Nationals top 10. Oklahoma remains number 1. LSU just a scant few hundredths of a point behind at number 2. Florida at number 3. In fact, 7 of the 8 SEC schools that participate in gymnastics are in the top 20. Only Arkansas is outside of that group. Let's go to the second 10 now, and you see Kentucky, you see Missouri, and you see Auburn out of the SEC.
So the top 36 schools will be spread across 6 regionals. And at those regionals, the top 2 teams will qualify to national championships. And you mentioned 7 of 8 SEC schools in the top 20. That just tells you how strong this conference is. And they're strong because they need each other week in and week out and push each other to compete at the top of their level. That SEC championships next weekend will be like a mini national championships.
Let's get you updated quickly on a softball score. Number 2, Auburn shaded LSU 5-4 in Auburn tonight. First SEC softball game. The Auburn Tigers beat the LSU Tigers 5-4. Sydney Springfield and Savannah Jaquish had home runs for LSU. Baseball against Wichita State is in a weather delay just across campus. Here's LSU's beam lineup. Aaron McAdeg, Maya Hambrick, Sydney Ewing, Lauren Lee, Sarah Finnegan, and Ashley Nadd.
And this lineup is number 2 in the nation, and they were so impressive last Sunday against Florida. This athlete, Aaron McAdeg, led them off with a career-high 9.95. Rarely do you see a team having their first-up athlete score that high.
Would you agree with me that in the last 3 or 4 seasons, beam has been the apparatus on which LSU has made the most improvement as a team?
I think it is the event that they have improved their confidence, but that is because they know that this is the make or break event. This is the event that has cost them a few national titles or SEC titles because of mistakes here. They started the season so well prepared, and they've carried that confidence through the entire season, and they hope it pays off in the end at the championships.
49.475, which is second in the country, has been the average beam score.
She set a career high last week, and it was so deserving. This is a unique routine that really stands alone. Look at the extension and the oversplit that she gets in those leaps.
If you're new to the sport, this beam is 4 scant inches wide.
Front aerial keeps her arms moving so she avoids that wobble into the straddle jump. Her choreography is exquisite. Her rhythm is outstanding, and her technique is flawless. Actually watching that Florida meet with a coaching colleague of mine, and he said, it looks like she's having fun up there. She has total command of this event. Floats through a back handspring layout.
Right here, she knows she's got something special working.
Once again, having fun, floating through that routine like a butterfly. I mean, just total command of this very difficult event. Back handspring layout, getting nice lift into the layout, pushing through straight legs, and the dismount. A gainer full, knows exactly where that landing is to get the stick.
So we go to the floor exercise. Leah Breeden up first for New Hampshire, which participates in the East Atlantic Gymnastics League, along with George Washington, North Carolina State, Towson State, and the University of Pittsburgh.
Her career high is a 9.9. She went 9.725 last time out. Opens with a double salto in the pike position. That's a D skill. required to do a tumbling pass with 2 different saltos in it. She'll do that here. Actually, that was her double tuck, so she's still required to do a double salto pass. She's saving that for her final pass. Plenty of cheers from her teammates on the sideline. Some dancing along with the routine. Just helps make you feel a little bit more at home, especially when you're competing in a large arena like this. There's the double salto pass, 1.5 to a front layout. A little bit of an under rotation issue. Performed well, looked like she was having fun. 2 D passes in the first 2 passes and her connection pass in her third. Round off back handspring, double tuck. Does a great job with the landing there.
We go back to beam now. Erin McAdeg set a high bar with a 9.925 to lead things off. And this is Maya Hambrick, whose best score this year has been near perfection at 9.95.
She's had some issues over the last couple weeks with her aerial cartwheel. She fell in one meet, wobbled in the next, but against Florida she was a little bit off, but boy did she fight. Got a great score out of it too. Not a problem tonight. Switch leap, quarter straddle.
You're looking at one of the most difficult things to do well in all of sports.
What I love about this routine, similar to Erin McAdeg, is her rhythm and the flow. She gets up from her knee, does a half turn, and steps right into her tumble series. That takes incredible confidence. Showing off beautiful flexibility. Great balance of difficulty throughout this routine, doing that tumble series near the end of the routine, finishing with a beautifully executed round-off double full.
So we'll see how this compares to McAdeg's 9.925, I think very favorably.
She does a nice job of really controlling her arms and staying tight and aggressive on the landing. She really minimized any possible wobbles there. Nails that landing on the dismount. That's the exclamation point at the end of the routine.
Leah Breeden started the floor exercise with a 9.8, and now here's Emma Weiner.
A petite freshman, only 4'11". She was 15th on floor at the JO National Championships. Sets up a big double pike, a little bit out of control on the landing. Popa into a wolf 1.5. You know, we think of floor as being all about the tumbling, but it is about the choreography and the leaps and jumps as well. They can gain some valuable bonus points by connecting some difficult leaps and jumps. 1.5 front layout. Nice job of setting the arms into that front layout and getting a good landing. Floor routine is 90 seconds long, and it is like sprinting for 90 seconds. You can see her smiling, but also trying to breathe, trying to bring some oxygen to those muscles before this final tumbling pass. Double tuck, no problem. Nice height. Great power into her double back.
If you're waiting on Hambrick's beam score, it's 9.9.
Solid routine from start to finish. Nice job of maintaining that straight position through the 1.5 to front layout. Good fast round off back handspring, giving her power into that double back.
Here's Sydney Ewing. A 9.925 has been her best this year.
She was a walk-on as a freshman and earned All-American honors on this event. I really feel like she felt she needed to prove something to herself and to her team, and that really legitimized what she can bring this team.
Isn't that something, to go from a walk-on to an All-America on beam?
Mm-hmm. And she has just gotten better and better every year, not just on this event, but she's contributing solidly on 3 events for the Tigers in this senior season. She's a Louisiana girl, born and trained here in Louisiana, so many young gymnasts around this area look up to her as a walk-on who has been a huge contributor over the last 4 years.
She's from Lafayette, Louisiana, about an hour west of Baton Rouge.
The background music is actually her brother singing. He also sang the national anthem tonight. Dismount. Round off 1.5. Sticks it every time she sticks that landing.
With her brother's background vocals, that's Sydney Ewing on the balance beam for your Fighting Tigers.
This is her senior night, a celebration of her career, the final time that she will compete here in front of the home crowd at the PMAC, and she just nails it.
Lauren Lee, Sarah Finnegan, and Ashley Natt will be next on beam, but the first 3 performers have been brilliant. Let's go back to the floor exercise. Nicole O'Leary.
She says her favorite skill is a double front on floor. You see it here from a run. Just punches into a double front. Unfortunately, over-rotates it today. Lands with her hands out of bounds, so that will be a 1/10 deduction plus 5/10 for the fall. Scored a 9.8 last time out. Obviously, she hit that first pass. Second pass, running front full to a front layout. Very clean. Onto a 4-inch landing mat. That is allowed. Helps to protect the ankles a little bit. One of the rules, though, is that they have to mark the lines of the out of bounds boundary lines, so the judges will know if they step out of bounds. First pass was a double front. She over-rotated it. Second pass was successful. Front full to a front layout. And final tumbling pass, a double back.
Sydney Ewing's score brings a bit of a hiss and a boo from the crowd on beam, 9.85. Now Lauren Lee out of Plano, Texas. You used the word elegant earlier. She fits that description as well.
And boy, has she come on strong on this event. Oh dear, oh dear. Front aerial, 5/10 deduction for the fall there. It looked like she was a little bit off, but then almost started to move into the next move, and her foot slipped, and down she went. She usually connects that front aerial to a back handspring layout. That is so difficult. Switch leap, standing layout. She has some of the biggest difficulty on beam in this lineup. Into a switch side. That switch side is a D skill, so she gets a 10th of bonus for the difficulty, plus a 10th because she connected the cat leap to it. Dismount, finishes strong, gainer full, but unfortunately that miss on the front aerial. Switch leap to a standing layout. Gainer full.
Coming up, Lexi Calandra out of Suffern, New York. The University of New Hampshire was founded in 1866, has about 15,000 students. And its most famous athletic alumnus, Baseball Hall of Famer Carlton Fisk.
Wow. Her top score is a 9.875. She scored a 9.8. Last meet opens with a twisting forward element, a front handspring double twist. Front layout, full front pike. She looks a little reserved to me, perhaps trying to hold on to a little bit of energy here for the last pass. 2.5 twist, well done.
She found that energy, didn't she?
She did. Nice direction off the floor. Helped that landing as well. First opening pass, front double twist. Nicely done. There's that 2.5 twist. It's a blind landing. You really have to get that snap down correct. Take it up to drop into the landing.
Lauren Lee's score was 9.275 after the fall early in the routine. And now Sarah Finnegan. A very unusual mount to the beam. It gets your attention in a hurry with that flexibility.
Well, let me tell you something about this. She normally does a triple turn there. She fell last week against Florida on it. And I believe Dee Dee said no more triple turn this year. So they are being a little conservative, just doing the full. But she doesn't need that extra difficulty. She has plenty of it.
You know, 5 times this year, 5 times, she has scored a 9.95, near perfection.
Toe point is absolutely amazing. You can see the attention to detail with her. Every arm position is exactly on. Every landing position is disciplined. That's why she gets the big scores. Sticks it, aerial cartwheel to a full turn, no problem.
What do you think? Maybe the 6th, 9.95?
I think it'll be probably a 9.9. Simply because the scores have been a little bit reserved today.
Lexi Calandra was 9.8 on the last floor routine. And this brings on Megan Flieger for New Hampshire. One of the most famous alumni for New Hampshire. Jennifer Lee, the writer and director of the children's animated movie Frozen.
Of course, my children love that movie. And the soundtrack that goes along with it. Front tuck step out, round off back handspring, double back. Lands a little bit on her heels, but holds on to a pretty solid landing. The energy level has picked up with this routine. She has scored as high as a 9.95, so you know what her ability is. Front layout full to a front pike. She's tied for second in her Eagle Conference on floor. Interesting down part on the floor. I always like to do those near my final tumbling pass to get off my legs and to rest them a little bit. Double pike to finish. Oh, 2 steps back and out of bounds. Sometimes when you get to the end of the routine and it is so strong and so solid, you just have a little bit too much adrenaline. You want to get that big last tumbling pass. She was a little out of control. Not bad there on the double salto front tumbling pass.
You know, later in life when you become a judge, you've got a good start. 9.925 was Finnegan's score. You were slightly under that, but right there.
I tend to be a little conservative.
Now Ashley Natt concludes the beam routine. We have Kennedy Edney scheduled for an exhibition. 9.925 has been her best this year. 4 times she has accomplished that score.
Beautiful front aerial. Love the way that floats and rises.
This young lady has been one of the best gymnasts in LSU history. 51 total titles, 19 on vault, 18 on floor, 10 on beam, and 4 all around. She's got 14 titles this year.
So impressive. She's gymnastics royalty. Her father was an LSU gymnast. Her mom was an Olympian for the U.S. And her sister, Jenna Rice, was a national NCAA champion who competed for Alabama. And what a career she's put together for herself, competing here in her final night here at the PMAC as a senior. But the season's not over for these ladies. They still have the biggest part coming up, SEC championships next week. Then on to regionals.
That regional competition is 2 weeks following the SEC championship tournament.
And then to nationals. They hope to be in that Super 6 final and vying for the national championship title. And with a routine like that, that will certainly help the Tigers reach those goals. You know, senior night is always so emotional. I mean, you're competing for the last time. You're really just trying to do a great performance for your fans.
Watch the elation, the unbridled enthusiasm at the conclusion.
She scored a perfect 10 on vault many times, on floor many times. She's still looking for a perfect 10 on beam. This one could be a high score.
So difficult. Danielle Doolin, the final performer on the floor exercise for New Hampshire. Natt was close, 9.95.
Oh, wow. Round off back handspring, full in, back out, impressive. That is an E skill. We'll see a lot of them from the LSU gymnasts, but this is the first from a New Hampshire gymnast tonight. She is all Eagle, first team on floor and in the all-around. That full in back out, she says, is her favorite skill. Round off 1.5 to a front layout. Powerful music for a powerful tumbler. It's very important to match up the music to the personality as well as the style of the athlete. Last pass sky high, double back, drops into the landing.
That was impressive.
Best routine of the night for New Hampshire.
So we're not quite done. We will have an exhibition performance in both events.
Strong run. Fast round off back handspring, pops it up. It's a full twist with 2 saltos in the tuck position. That gives her 2/10 bonus. And the last pass is a D. 1/10 bonus there. Chest is up on the landing. Good height.
Now we go back to beam for an exhibition performance by the youngster Kennedy Edney. Kennedy has had a season high of 9.95.
Again, we talked about this meet being important in terms of fine-tuning the little details before the SEC championships next week. Dee taking the opportunity to give this young freshman athlete another chance to gain some experience here in competition. She warmed up so precisely. Great job of being aggressive on that landing. Very disciplined with the arms.
She's already very good. But I think we're looking at one of the best gymnasts in the SEC over the next 2 or 3 years.
Absolutely. I think she's in the running for SEC Freshman of the Year this year. Oh, gorgeous. That is called a front toss, and she does it in the piked position, which makes it even more difficult. And what's so impressive about it is how it rises so high into the air.
Not even a wobble.
That tells you the strength and the depth of this LSU team on beam. When you have a performance like that and it's not even included in the lineup. There's that front toss. Gorgeous. So disciplined and popping this dismount straight up so that she can land it.
So we'll have her score in a moment, and we go back to the floor exercise. Here's Brittany Capozzi with an exhibition performance. A sophomore out of Derry, New Hampshire.
Just like LSU, taking every opportunity to give their athletes valuable competition experience, because you can train week in and week out, but your body changes, your mind changes when you're under this kind of pressure in competition, so you have to see how it responds.
Lori, I'm sure you recall your performance days, and at this time of the season, a lot of ankle injuries, a lot of little nagging knee things, elbows. The joints take a pounding during the course of the season.
Absolutely, and that is something that LSU is dealing with right now, and I'm sure all of the top teams and every team competing in the NCAAs will be dealing with, and it was important for them to be able to rest some of their athletes along the way, to make sure they're well conditioned and to take care of them and keep that in mind. They need a healthy team.
Kennedy Edney's score was 9.875 in the exhibition performance. I thought it was should have been a stronger score than that.
It was a fantastic routine. Mistake in her first tumbling pass, the 2.5 twist to the front tuck. 2.5 twist is her final pass. Strong effort.
So we have completed 3 rotations. When we come back, LSU will be on floor. New Hampshire will be on beam. We'll also get you updated on the latest individual scores and team totals. There you see the team total now. LSU with a 148.35. New Hampshire approximately 2 points in arrears. We will return right after this. And the LSU Tigers beam scores. With Lori Strong-Ballard, I'm Lynn Rollins. We have one more rotation to go. Lori, beam scores very nice for LSU, other than Lauren Lee's stumble.
Well, like last week against Florida, they did have one fall. They can drop that fall, but what I liked was the way they responded to that. It did not faze them. It was not an issue. They came back with some really strong scores. Sarah Finnegan with a 9.925 and Ashley Natt with that 9.95.
So those are the scores of what we have just seen. Doolin with a 9.875 was the best on the floor exercise for New Hampshire, and certainly one of the most crowd-pleasing events coming up for LSU. Here are the totals with one event to go. LSU 148.35, New Hampshire 146.325. We've been doing some quick math, Lori. LSU on the floor to reach 198 in this meet would need to score 49.625. That would be the best they have had this year. Their previous best, they would need to get 49.65. Their previous best has been 49.625. So a season's best performance will be required on floor exercise for LSU to get to the magic 198 mark. More in a moment from the Maravich Assembly Center on the SEC ESPN Network.
Applebee's 2 for $20 deal is even more tempting than ever, with delicious new options like savory caprese mozzarella chicken and creamy spinach and artichoke chicken cavatappi. Enjoy 2 full-size entrees and an app for just $20. Only at Applebee's.
The SEC regular season competition is in the books right now. LSU went 6-0, including that impressive win over Florida in this building last week before more than 12,000 fans. So LSU, Florida, and Alabama in that standings, along with Georgia, Kentucky, Missouri, Auburn, and Arkansas. And only Arkansas out of that group is not in the national top 20 right now.
And LSU easily beat Florida last Sunday. It was an impressive win. Be interesting to see the SEC Gymnastics Championships next weekend. It's going to be some tough competition.
LSU on the floor this year is ranked number 2 with an average score of 49.530. So the Tigers are either 1, 2, or 3 in all 4 of the events nationally. Very, very strong.
It shows they don't have a weakness, and that's what makes them such a powerful all-around team.
The only setback LSU has suffered this year was at the hands of Oklahoma in a tri-meet. There is Dee Bro in her 40th season as LSU head coach. And 40 years coaching in the SEC, ranks only behind Kentucky legendary basketball coach Adolph Rupp. Can you believe that? He had 41 years.
And it's so amazing, just still the passion and the love that she has for the sport. She says actually this year's team is the best ever that she's coached in terms of its talent, the way that they get along, the camaraderie, the focus of the athletes, and the commitment of this team. You see there they've got the mats pulled back on the floor. They're taking a look at a possible issue with the spring floor.
Well, here are the longest tenured SEC head coaches in history. Next year, Dee Bro will match Adolph Rupp. Isn't that amazing?
Those are some impressive coaches and some big names up there on that board, and Dee Bro's right along with them.
She will be inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame the last weekend in June in Natchitoches, Louisiana, that fabulous Sports Hall of Fame building there on Front Street. And she will enjoy that induction ceremony over 3 days in Natchitoches.
A well-deserved honor, and still the meet is being held up right now because there's a little bit of an issue. They've got a crew out there taking a look at the floor and making sure that the boards are all together, because when they gap, that can be a danger issue to the landings of these athletes. Possibly one of the girls went down, they felt a little bit of a difference, they lifted it up, and sure enough, the boards were apart.
So safety first here, and it won't take the Maravich Assembly Center crew very long to get things back to par.
And this means that Dee Bro's got to keep her team in the box, keep them focused, keep them loose, keep that energy level up that they just created during their warm-up.
Now, don't forget, next week, the entire SEC meet will be covered on the ESPN platforms. There will be the first session covered by ESPNU, and the night session, which will involve LSU, will be covered by the SEC network. So it's wall-to-wall gymnastics, and you can watch every minute of it next week.
It's so amazing this year and over the last couple of years how much gymnastics has gotten on TV and on the internet. It's available to all of these fans and to these athletes' parents and family members that are back home and not able to make the meets. It's been a wonderful experience for everyone and great for the sport.
And there you see the graphic outlining the schedule and the network on which the SEC Gymnastics Championship will be seen from Jacksonville, Florida.
It's going to be a tough competition.
We go to beam. Danielle Doolin.
Of course, New Hampshire's had to keep their focus as this issue is going on with the floor. They'll have to remain in that focus mode because this arena is going to erupt with LSU performing on the floor. They need to keep their minds tight here. Back handspring layout, she's off. It's 4 inches wide. Unlike the floor, if you just go slightly crooked, drop that shoulder, misplace the arm, you are off the beam.
And the working surface is actually a little less than 4 inches, because when you hang that toe over, you got about, 3.5 to work with, actually.
Many hours of work and repetition to get this kind of level of gymnastics with this kind of confidence.
I remember talking to you over the years about how you prepare for this, and nobody jumps up on the beam and starts doing it hours and hours and hours and repetition after repetition.
Back handspring, 1.5, steps back on the landing. You're right, you don't get up and just throw a back tuck on the balance beam. First, you have to learn it on the floor, and then you work your way up. There's a lot of drills. You work on low beams, you work with pads. It's a process.
It's floor time!
They call this event in the Maravich Assembly Center floor time, and Sydney Ewing will start it for the Tigers. 9.925 has been her season's best.
Near perfect last time out here against Florida on Sunday. This is her final floor team. Senior athlete here on this LSU Tiger team. I hope she enjoys every moment of it. Sky high front handspring, double twist, clean legs in the air, good landing. Full front layout. Lots of great expression and emotion, great choreography. Just her final tumbling pass. Double pike. Oh dear. She stepped on the line. It bounced just slightly out of bounds. That will be a 1/10 out of bounds deduction, but what a fantastic final floor team for this incredible senior athlete. Almost nails that middle pass. Double pike, take a look here.
That's the 1/10 deduction right there.
And you could see she felt her foot on the line and she tried to scoot it back in, but unfortunately it did go over. You could step on the line, but as soon as that toe goes over, it's a 1/10 deduction.
And unfortunately for LSU, it was right in the corner where the judges are. Here's Leah Breeden.
Nice extension on her switch leap into a 3/4 twisting straddle jump. That is a D skill and so difficult. Anytime you start turning in those leaps or jumps, it adds a little more risk on the beam. Front aerial, trying to move quickly into her back handspring for her series. She says her favorite skill is that front aerial.
We have Sydney Ewing's score, 9.85. It would have been a 9.95, or rather a over 9.9 without the out of bounds. But 9.85 for Ewing.
Dismount, back handspring, up into the air with a 1.5 twist.
That's nice.
Solid effort. Very focused from start to finish in this routine. Not looking flustered. Like to see the rhythm picked up just a little bit. Great job on sticking the landing on the dismount.
You know, if Ewing had not stepped out of bounds, that would have been her season's high of 9.95. Here's Shaza Marty. 9.9 has been her best this year.
A beautiful gymnast. Another senior celebrating senior night and her final performance here at the PMAC. She came all the way from Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada, and she says that her experience here at LSU has been the best of her life. Double Arabian. E-skill, 2/10 bonus. Nice height, drops into the landing. Shows off her elegance. sky high on that double back. Almost enough room to kick it out. Every detail is there in the choreography. From the feet to the hand positions, the extension in the arms, the facial expressions.
Ashley Claire Kearney, the former multi-time All-America for LSU, handles a lot of the choreography.
I have to say, some of the best routines in the country. Beautiful job from Shaza Marty.
And we go back to Leah Breeden with a 9.8 on beam, a very solid score.
And Shay is probably more known for her bar work, but she's really blossomed into a great floor worker this year. Her tumbling is difficult. It is super high, and she combines that with a gorgeous, elegant choreography.
Riley Freeling will be next on the bar. Her average is 9.673. Twice she has scored a 9.85 this year.
She starts off with a very interesting mount, a hop up to her knee. Sometimes it's nice to catch the eye and wake that judge up a little bit right from the start. Nice job on her back handspring layout. Cat leap, connected to a front toss, into a changement. Nicely done.
Boy, I look around and I can see on the faces of thousands here in this building that intense interest in what's going on, even with New Hampshire.
LSU is bringing in the large crowds, but what they're also doing is educating these crowds. They're starting to learn the etiquette of gymnastics watching. They're also learning more about their team, what scores, all of that, and that makes for a great fan.
But this sport is so compelling that you don't need to know the technicalities the first few times that you see it to just be awestruck by it.
It's so entertaining. I mean, it's just amazing to see what some of these athletes are capable of doing. It truly is a performance sport and entertaining to watch. Back handspring layout, easily done. Round off 1.5, really trying to cover up that landing deduction there. Good effort.
We have Shaza Marty's floor score. It was a 9.85, and now this brings on Maya Hambrick. 9.950 twice has been her best this year.
Layout, excellent. So precise in her dance. 2.5 twist, nice direction into her front tuck. Saw her warming that up earlier today. She did a couple extra repetitions of just a round off layout to really get the direction off the floor correct. She's a perfectionist. A couple things that make these LSU routines so great. They got some powerful tumbling, but there's some different styles of tumbling as well as different styles of choreography. Here we've got a little bit more of a classic jazzy routine. Beautiful double pike. We'll see elegance, we'll see fun, classic jazzy routines, and then we'll see more current hip-hop style routines all in the same lineup, all full of incredible difficult tumbling. Like this double layout, an E-pass, 2/10 of bonus there. They're looking for 5/10 to get a 10-0 start value. She gets 1/10 for the double pike. Great routine.
Freeling had a 9.725 on beam. And we go to Danielle Mulligan.
Sophomore, her career high is a 9.85. Back handspring layout, nice extension through the legs. I liked her bar routine. I was a little concerned that the score was lower than I thought it should be. Whoa, big wrist there, double turn. The athletes are required to do at least a full turn. She takes it above and beyond, adding more difficulty with the double turn. A little low on that switch side, but a difficult connection of a switch leap into a switch side. Taking command of this routine into the dismount cat leap to a gainer pike off. She is psyched. She looked confident and aggressive from the beginning, taking a lot of risk there with no problem at all on her double turn.
995.
Well, Maya Hambrick has recorded a 9.95 near perfection in her last floor routine this year for LSU. And here comes the youngster, Kennedy Edney. Her best this year has been 9.925.
From the moment she debuted this floor routine, she became a crowd favorite, and you'll see why. Double Arabian steps back, so there will be a small deduction there. Yep. I was told at the beginning of the year this was actually the favorite routine of her teammates as well. You can see them having a lot of fun with it during practice. So we saw the elegance from Shea Zamardi, the classic jazziness from Maya Hambrick, and now a little bit more of a current, upbeat, hip-hop style routine.
But very controlled at the same time. I think she could dunk a basketball. There will be many more years of excellence from her in this building. She is a freshman.
Full of attitude from start to finish. She's got the big tumbling. First tumbling pass needs to be fine-tuned just a little bit in terms of the landing. A double Arabian. It is a blind landing and tough to hit. Last pass, double tuck. Showing great endurance there to the end.
McKenna Kelly and Ashley Knapp will be the next two performers. But now we go back to Beam. Megan Flieger.
Her top score has been a 9.925. Teammates on the side cheering her on for this tumble series, and she hits it.
Her predecessor was 9.825, Daniel Mulligan.
Switch leap, connected to a quarter straddle. She is all eagle, first team on beam. Cat leap, front toss. Dismount, cartwheel, into the gainer full, stuck landing. Great routine, 2 in a row now for New Hampshire. Pushing strong through those legs into the back handspring. No problem for the layout on the landing. Into the dismount. Cartwheel off of one leg, a gainer full to the side.
Well done. Kennedy Edney was a 9.85. And now here is McKenna Kelly. 9.975 has been her best in 2017.
And she blows most of her competition out of the water in terms of her difficulty. 2 E-tumbling passes.
She plays to the music.
Powerful music. Opens with a sky-high double layout. Bounces out a little bit on the landing. Those are the little details that LSU is going to want to clean up next weekend. Sometimes it's nice to get it out of your system, though, the week before. You know you won't do it again next week. Full twisting double back. That's her second E tumbling pass. Breath before the final tumbling pass. It's not just a double back, but she does a front tuck step out into her double back. Again, going above and beyond in terms of the difficulty.
It takes your breath away.
Her mother, the '84 Olympic champion, Mary Lou Retton, always cheering her on. She says, it's so hard for me just to sit and be quiet and clap along with the other parents. I can't help myself. I want to get up and scream and cheer her on. I don't blame her. There's the front tuck step out into the double back. Nice set. Getting sky high.
That's a lot of stuff in your final pass.
Yes. Think about the endurance involved there. Nice extension in her needle kick. Casey Lauder, junior. Career high is a 9.95. I love the extension and the way that she aggressively attacks every skill. Look at the extension there as she heads into her tumble series. It's a triple flight, back handspring layout. Her knees bent a little bit on that layout, so there will be a deduction there. But that was strong difficulty. She fell on her series last week, actually, so it was a nice comeback here.
Flieger scored a 9.775.
Cartwheel gainer, full dismount. She's all Eagle first team, and now you know why. Here's the series. 2 back handsprings to a layout. So much can go wrong when you're connecting 3 acrobatic skills in a row. A slight knee bend in the layout. Good finish with the cartwheel gainer full.
McKenna Kelly's score was 9.925. And now for the final time in this building, it's Ashley Knapp on the floor exercise. She will get a rousing ovation. The bug on the floor for the last time in Baton Rouge.
I think she's going to have a little fun with this routine. Yep, hello. Sky-high double layout. Needs to control the adrenaline a little bit in this pass. Round up back handspring, 2.5. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Squared, popped up that front out of the 2.5. Watch these jumps, though. Not only are tumbling sky high, but those leaps and jumps as well. That is so difficult to get that kind of height, the split, and quickness. Last pass. This could be a huge score if she nails it. Round off back handspring, double pike. Opens up just a little early, but pretty strong.
Darn near perfection.
Wow.
The crowd rises in salute of Ashley Knapp.
Fans, say thank you to one of the greatest.
They are going to miss this athlete and all of their seniors. There's that 2.5 twist to a punch front, near perfect right there. One of her best I've ever seen her do. Last pass, double pike, opens it up just a little early, but what a fantastic routine. What a legacy these three seniors leave behind.
Nat is an 11-time All-America and a chance for even more as her senior season closes out in postseason. A 9.95. She missed perfection, but not by much.
She has had 8 perfect 10s. 4 of them have come here on floor and nearly 1 today. I really thought if she'd nailed that last pass, it would have been a perfect 10. But what a way to go out.
We'll be back to wrap it up from Baton Rouge as the Tigers remain unbeaten in the Maravich Assembly Center for the 3rd consecutive year. Dual scores, New Hampshire beam, LSU Tigers floor score. Closing it out, LSU didn't quite get to the number they needed on the floor exercise, but still a very strong score.
And a strong score overall with a 197.875. Take a look at those floor scores. A 9.95 from Ashley Natt in her final performance. And Maya Hambrick also posting a 9.95. It was solid from start to finish. Maybe a couple landings could have been cleaned up and will be by next week.
Well, the Tigers go to 13-1 on the year. We'll take a look at a graphic which shows you the final score tonight. LSU winning easily. LSU has won every meet in this building over the last 3 years. This was not an exception, and the Tigers came very close to, again, reaching that 198 mark.
And how impressive for these 3 seniors who competed tonight to go out undefeated in this building. I mean, that is absolutely amazing and almost unheard of.
Hambrick and Ewing and Nat won the beam. They tied for the high score. Nat was on the floor. Kennedy Edney on bars. Nat won the all-around. And LSU goes out in this building before almost 10,000 fans the way it came in 3 years ago, and that's with another victory. Now, as we look at this performance, next week LSU goes to Jacksonville, Florida. It will take on the rest of the SEC field in the tournament. 2 weeks from then, it'll be the regionals. How does this meet set up LSU for postseason?
Well, you know, after the meet against Florida, where they won the SEC regular title, put that up that huge 198-1-5, you thought there'd be a little bit of a letdown here, but it wasn't. Even with the senior night emotion, it was business as usual for this team, and that is a strong score, 197.875. Yes, there are some small details that can be cleaned up between now and next week, and I think they will have that adrenaline and that anticipation to try and win that SEC title again.
And we saw Ashley Natt compete in an event tonight that she might not compete in postseason, and she wins the all-around with an amazing 39.7 score. That is a senior going out at home the way she started her career. She is an amazing LSU gymnast, one of the best in history.
And you know, that Barra team was probably one of the best that I've ever seen her compete. She really blossomed tonight and took advantage of competing in the all-around.
So a capacity crowd here, or near so, sees LSU get the win. For Lori Strong-Ballard, I'm Lynn Rollins saying so long from Baton Rouge for the final time this year, where the final score is LSU 197.875, New Hampshire 195.3. To watch this entire meet on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.